Hello and welcome in today's episode of FCB coming on to you, of course, after a very long time. And in today's episode, we're beginning with breaking bad news, because one of the most important players in our club and the best midfielder, and I mean the most intelligent midfielder in our club, Pedri Gonzalez, has suffered an injury. He has suffered a long-term injury. It's a serious injury because according to Helena Condes, Pedri has a quadriceps injury, and that will keep him out for several weeks. And one of the matches that Pedri is assured, or is certain that Pedri will miss in this coming 1.5 months, is that he will miss the upcoming match against Villarreal, Osasuna, Real Betis, and his return will be decided depending on his recovery. I mean the Champions League match, the first match of the Champions League. If he will be fit, then he will be able to play. Then a match against Celta Vigo, and again, if things get worse, he might miss even the second match of the Champions League. I mean, he is expected. I mean, Pedri is expected to return against Real Mallorca on 27th of September, or against Sevilla in 1st of October. My goodness. Man, this is another hit for Barcelona. I don't know what's happening with Barcelona, because one of the most important players, again, after Ronald Araujo, again it's Pedri. Sometimes you get to ask ourselves, as curious, what's happening with the Barcelona's health department, because right now, Ronald Araujo, the best defender we have in the club, is suffering from an injury. And right now, Pedri, the player who scored, the player who did the unexpected, the unthinkable in the last match against Cadiz and allowed Barcelona to break the dreadlock and defeat Cadiz by 2-1. He scored the first goal and opened that and brought that momentum and mood for the club so as to score the second goal. He's now injured. My goodness. Sometimes we ask ourselves, who's going to be next? Who's going to be next? Not that we have Araujo, we have Pedri, we have Inigo Martinez, another important player. We bought him from Athletic Club Bilbao. He's a very good player, a Spanish centre-back, a beast. Christensen, injury prone. My goodness, what's happening with Barcelona? I mean, recently we have been linked with another creative midfielder, LoCelso. That's why I'm coming on to you guys with a question. Now that Pedri is injured, it's a serious injury. He might miss up to 2 months, because his injury depends on the way he's going to recover. So meaning, if his recovery will take long, then you're going to suffer if we don't find a proper replacement for Pedri. Now, we were linked with LoCelso. Later, yesterday, Barcelona ruled out the signing of LoCelso, a very creative midfielder, just like Pedri. He's not in Spurs' plans, according to Postenegru. I mean, that the new coach for Tottenham. He doesn't count on LoCelso. Xavi has been a very big admirer. Barcelona wanted to go for LoCelso on loan, but due to financial fair play, Barcelona were unable to sign LoCelso on loan. Now that Pedri is injured, do you think it's the right move for Barcelona to consider all the plans that they had to go for LoCelso? Because Pedri's injury is now becoming a matter of concern. It's getting serious. He might be another injury-prone player in our team. We have very many important players who are injury-prone. Look at what was happening to Ousmane Dembele, and that costed us a lot. Look at what happened to Barcelona last season in the Champions League. We lost. We went to the Europa League because of the injuries that we had suffered. My goodness. Do you think it's right for Barcelona to go for LoCelso, or give time for Fermin Lopez? I mean, Fermin Lopez has been a very good wonder player from La Masia, very interesting player to watch. We also what he did against Real Madrid in the US tour, and there were reports that he did even much better in the training ground. But up to date, Xavi Hernandez hasn't yet given him chances. I understand sometimes Xavi is trying to create maybe a squad to see whether his plans gonna happen, gonna see how maybe he's planning things, but let's see what's gonna happen with Fermin Lopez. And I have a question on to you guys. Give your answers under the comment section down below. Do you want Barcelona to go for an experienced LoCelso, or trust Fermin Lopez? My goodness. On to other news is that Barcelona are willing to let go of Barca Alonso from the club this summer. Xavi Hernandez wants to keep him, but the club sees Alonso contract as a huge liability for the club, bearing in mind the financial fair play rules. My goodness, another saga. Currently, Alonso is not yet registered by the club to La Liga. Xavi expected his registration before the last match against Cadiz, at least to cover for the centre-back hole left by both injured Ronald Araujo and Inigo Martinez, but Barcelona failed to register his contract to La Liga on time. That is the reason why Marcos Alonso hasn't yet featured in any of La Liga's matches this season. And right now, one of the most reliable journalists, Gerard Romero, of course, reports that Barcelona will fail. If Barcelona will fail to register Alonso on time, he'll be on the market to be transferred away from the club. Yesterday, there were reports that the club, together with Xavi Hernandez, convinced Alonso that he's going to be registered, he should stay at the club. And Alonso's side, Aldridge, is again confident that they will sign a new, his contract will be registered to La Liga, and will stay in Barcelona for one more season. Let's see what will happen with this deal. There were reports again. I'm just giving you an overview. There were reports that Deco was against the registration of Marcos Alonso's contract, and he wanted to, instead of registering Alonso's contract, they should set Alonso on the market, get something from that sale, and again sign Ivan Fresneda, a young talented right back from Real Valladolid, whom Deco has been a fan of, and wanted to sign him alongside Joao Cancelo. My goodness. Joao Cancelo. Talking of Joao Cancelo, another saga now. Joao Cancelo hasn't yet received the approval to travel to Barcelona today. No green light, as financial fair play checks are not allowing to proceed yet. Patience on both sides, but feeling still is the same, that Cancelo will join Barcelona. That's according to Fabrizio Romano. He insists that Cancelo will be a Barcelona player. The only thing that's holding the move is the green light from La Liga. I mean, it's still not yet possible to register another player. We haven't registered yet the players we have. Marcos Alonso. And now, Joao Cancelo. What's happening with Barcelona? But there is a very big optimism that Cancelo will be signed for Barcelona. There are news, according to Helena Condes, one of the most reliable recently, is that Joao Cancelo has already booked an apartment near to Ciutat Esportiva, where Barcelona usually trains, and that's where he'll be living before he gets his house. But already he has rented an apartment near to Ciutat Esportiva, meaning things are happening anyway. And Joao Cancelo, this is one of the worst transfers ever. They have been giving us butterflies. We are waiting for that. Here we go. Nothing's happening. It's always both sides. Manchester City side, you're waiting for Barcelona, waiting for Joao Cancelo, now waiting for La Liga. Let's see what's going to happen, but the feeling is good between both sides. Cancelo side, Barcelona side, I think things gonna happen. On to the last news of the day is that Abde is willing to leave the club in search for more money, since most of the clubs have approached his outreach for the transfer of the player. However, the player is waiting for the decision of the club. However, he only wants to leave on loan and not permanent move, but he is also open to a permanent move away from the club if the club insists. Barcelona are still on the race to sign a top forward that is Joao Cancelo, a very big player admired by Barcelona president himself, Joan Laporta, since both Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres are not willing to leave. Abde is reportedly seen as the sacrificial lamb as to allow the signing of Joao Felix, which is indeed contrary to the expectations of Xavi Hernandez. Yesterday, there were reports that Xavi Hernandez assured Abde that he's going nowhere. He wants him to stay, and he will stay at Barcelona, and he will not allow Abde to be sold to any club this summer. Up to that point, I come to the end of today's episode of FCB. The question on to you guys: what do you think will happen now that we already suffered a very big blow injury for Pedri? Should we go for Giovan LoCelso, a very creative player from the Premier League? I mean, LoCelso is one of the best midfielders even in Argentina. We also have Argentina were intense when they learned LoCelso had suffered an injury just before the World Cup, thanks to Enzo Fernandez's emergence. And now, or should we give the promising this young midfielder from La Masia, Fermin Lopez? Let me know your thoughts under the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet to this Power FCB. For the love of Football Club Barcelona, just give a like, subscribe, and don't forget to share. Visca Barca.